So the Prime Minister, along with his delegation at Kyiv, these are visuals that we are showing to you where the Prime Minister signed a visitor's book when the two leaders met upon his arrival at Kyiv. He met the Ukrainian president at the Zelenskiy Palace in Kyiv. Both leaders held talks on a range of aspects of the bilateral ties, including political, trade, economic, investments, education, cultural, people-to-people exchanges, and others. So you can see, of course, the two leaders interacting with their delegations. They held one-on-one talks. First, that's Prime Minister Modi and President Zelenskiy, and later held delegation-level talks at the Zelenskiy Palace in Kyiv. When Prime Minister arrived, a warm embrace between the two leaders. From the Indian side, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, the National Security Advisors Ajit Doval, Foreign Secretary Mistry were present as were part of the delegation of Prime Minister Modi. So, extensive talks covering the entire gamut of bilateral relations, reviewing the progress made in the bilateral relations, the need for taking it further and expanding the scope of the bilateral relations was on the table between the two sides. A list of agreements were also signed between the two sides. We'll get to know in a little while what documents were signed between the two leaders after the delegation level talks, but the Prime Minister also on his arrival met the small Indian community that is in Kyiv, though there was a 20,000 strong presence of Indians in Ukraine before the start of the war, of which the students formed a sizable part. Mostly students studying medicine in Ukraine, but after the war, India evacuated its nationals and students studying there under Operation Ganga. So the two sides reviewed how the relationship can be brought back on track, be it on people-to-people contacts, or be it on cooperation on diverse fields, be it on trade, economy, the political aspect of the relationship, and of course the war, the Russia-Ukraine war was extensively discussed, where Prime Minister is said to have stressed on the need for peace and taking urgent steps to stop the war and find a lasting and a peaceful solution to the war through dialogue and diplomacy. I'm joined by my colleague Jessica Taneja, who joins us more on the story. Jessica, first of all, give us, let me begin by asking you about the significance of this visit, a short visit, not even a full day, a few hours, 7 hours. For a visit of 7 hours, the Prime Minister takes an arduous journey on the train of about 10 hours. So what is the messaging that he's trying to send from there?
Well, the messaging is clear, and the messaging, of course, goes much beyond the assumed idea that this is a balancing act for India. Well, India had previously as well stated that its interest in facilitating peace for the region was something that it was looking forward to, and this visit achieves much more than that. And as you pointed out, a 10-hour journey, but only a 7-hour stay in Ukraine. But from the morning, the engagements that you've seen the Prime Minister has held, from paying tribute to Mahatma Gandhi to going to the memorial of martyred children, there has been quite a packed schedule. preferably giving out the message that yes, Ukraine is important, even though Russia is its time-tested friend, but in achieving that goal where it goes out and it extends its reach to countries and continues to diversify its ties, I think is a testament. This visit stands as a testament to that.
Okay. What is the significance of visiting this, Martology museum that he visited? That was the first thing he did with President Zelensky. What was he trying? What was the appeal that he was trying to put out from there?
Well, particularly that war memorial of the martyred children during the invasion or the military preoccupation of Russian forces in Ukraine back in November 2022. So of course that was a point of significance as well, and as you recall 6 weeks ago when the Prime Minister was in Russia meeting with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, Russian missiles had bombed a hospital in Ukraine. So of course, given the significance of how it has all evolved since then and how young innocent children lost their lives, India has put its focus particularly on how humanitarian assistance can be provided. And let's not forget, since the war has raged, India has provided 14, in fact, India has sent 14 consignments of aid, be it medicines or tents, and even in a case where it sent generators for schools in Lviv region for the children to be able to continue their education. So, of course, the significance there quite paramount in a sense where India believes that a peaceful resolution is the only way out.
Okay, let's talk about the bilateral aspect of the relationship. What all could have come up for discussion? What all areas the two sides felt that the relationship could be expanded?
Well, we are expecting the outcomes to be given soon. We're expecting a press briefing from the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, in a short while, and perhaps there'll be more details as to what were the key highlights of the discussions between the two. But when it comes to the mutual areas of cooperation in terms of trade, we could look at particularly in the agriculture sector, and also, of course, India exporting medicines in the pharmaceutical sector that has seen the trade between the two in the past as well. Of course, in the pre-pandemic times, you'd recall that the import of sunflower oil as well from Ukraine. But let's not forget that the crisis that was created when the conflict began back in February 2022, and as the war rages, the export of crucial grains, wheat and corn were halted and perhaps disrupting supply chains. And while Russia and Ukraine both being an important player in export of both corn and wheat, certainly created a disruption of sorts. So a point where India's diplomacy could help perhaps ease that tension could in a way be explored. But of course, strengthening of the trade ties between the two could see an uptick, as this visit would signify.